What we are seeing right now is a very serious situation that is drawing national attention, and many Nigerians are talking about it across the country. Senior voices within the Nigerian military space are openly expressing deep concern over the role, statements, and public influence of Sheikh Ahmad Gumi. And this concern has now grown into loud calls for his immediate arrest. This issue is no longer a small discussion among analysts or commentators. It has entered the public space as a major national security conversation, and people are paying close attention. As this story develops, let us be very clear about what is happening. The core of the matter is not about religion. It is not about ethnicity. It is not about personal hatred. It is about national security, public statements, and the effect those statements may have on a country already battling serious insecurity challenges. Many military figures believe that words spoken by influential individuals carry weight, and when such words appear to excuse, soften, or justify violent actions by armed groups, they believe the consequences can be dangerous. Before I continue, please like this video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss updates on stories like this. It really helps the channel grow and it keeps you informed in real time. Now, the demand being made by these military voices is based on a long-standing frustration. For years, Nigeria has been dealing with armed violence, attacks on communities, abductions, and fear across many regions. Soldiers are deployed, lives are lost, families are affected, and resources are spent trying to restore peace. When someone with a public platform speaks in a way that seems to reduce the seriousness of these crimes or suggests understanding for those carrying them out, it creates anger among those who feel the direct impact of the violence. According to those calling for action, the issue is not that Sheikh Ahmad Gumi speaks. The issue is what he says and how often he says it. They argue that repeatedly describing armed criminals in sympathetic terms or suggesting that their actions are a reaction to neglect or injustice can weaken the message that violence against civilians is completely unacceptable. From their point of view, this kind of messaging can confuse the public and reduce trust in security operations. Please like this video and subscribe because this story is still unfolding and more updates are coming. At the same time, there is another side to this issue, and it is important to explain it clearly so everyone understands. Supporters of Sheikh Ahmad Gumi argue that he is not supporting violence in any form. They say his approach is based on dialogue, communication, and finding long-term solutions to conflict. According to them, speaking to armed groups does not mean agreeing with their actions. They believe it is a strategy aimed at reducing harm and encouraging peace. This is where the disagreement becomes very sharp. Some Nigerians believe negotiation can save lives. Others believe negotiation rewards bad behavior. The military voices pushing for arrest fall strongly into the second group. They believe that once violence is justified in words, even indirectly, it becomes harder to stop in reality. As this debate continues, many Nigerians are asking important questions. Why now? Why has this demand become louder at this particular time? One reason is the growing frustration over continued attacks despite heavy security efforts. Another reason is the belief that public figures must be held accountable when their statements are seen as harmful to national unity or security. Please remember to like and subscribe as you listen because this important conversation reaches more people. There is also the legal angle which cannot be ignored. Nigeria has laws that deal with public speech, national security, and actions that may encourage violence. Those calling for arrest believe that the authorities should examine whether any lines have been crossed. They argue that if ordinary citizens can be questioned or detained for certain statements, then influential figures should not be treated differently. On the other hand, there are those who warn that arresting a religious figure over speech could create tension and raise concerns about freedom of expression. They argue that the country must be careful not to turn security issues into political or religious conflict. This is why the situation is very sensitive and must be handled carefully. As Nigerians watch closely, the government is under pressure. If it takes action, some will applaud it as a strong stand for security. If it does not, others will see it as weakness or selective enforcement of the law. Either way, the decision will send a strong message. Please like this video and subscribe and also share your thoughts in the comments. Your opinion matters in conversations like this. Another important point many people are discussing is the role of influence. In today's Nigeria, public figures have large audiences. Their words travel fast, especially through social media. Military supporters say that when a respected figure speaks, People listen, and that is why caution is necessary. They believe influence must come with responsibility. Meanwhile, supporters of dialogue argue that military action alone has not solved insecurity and that different approaches should be allowed to exist. They believe shutting down voices that promote alternative ideas could limit creative solutions. This clash of ideas is what makes the issue so complex. What is clear is that this story is not ending anytime soon. Discussions are happening in homes, offices, places of worship, and online spaces. Everyone seems to have an opinion, and emotions are high. Please like and subscribe if you want balanced, clear updates explained in simple English. As we move forward, Nigerians will be watching for official responses, possible investigations, and statements from security agencies. Any action taken will shape public trust and future discussions about security and free speech. The conversation is becoming deeper, and the tension around this issue is increasing every day. Many Nigerians are no longer looking at this matter as just a disagreement between the military and a religious scholar. People are beginning to see it as a reflection of a bigger problem. In the country, how Nigeria handles insecurity, powerful voices, and public accountability. As this story continues, one thing is very clear. Words have power. In a country where people are already afraid of attacks, kidnappings, and violence, every statement made by influential individuals can either calm the situation or make it worse. That is why the calls for action against Sheikh Ahmad Gumi are not just emotional reactions. They are based on fear, frustration, and the feeling that Nigeria has suffered too much for too long. Please, if you are following this gist, like this video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any important updates. Your support helps us bring you real-time news explained in clear English. Many soldiers and security supporters believe that the country has reached a point where there should be no mixed signals about violence. In their view, anyone who appears to defend or excuse armed groups, even indirectly, should be questioned. They believe that when criminals hear such statements, they may feel justified or encouraged. From their perspective, this is dangerous. But at the same time, there is a strong argument from those who believe that Nigeria must address the root causes of insecurity. They argue that poverty, injustice, lack of development, and poor governance have contributed to the rise of violent groups. According to them, speaking about these issues does not mean supporting violence. They believe it is part of honest national dialogue. This is where the situation becomes complicated. One side says, stop talking to criminals and stop defending them. The other side says, if we don't understand why they exist, we will never solve the problem. Both sides claim to be working for Nigeria's future, but their methods are completely different. Please like this video and subscribe if you want to continue hearing this story explained in a clear and balanced way. Another angle of this story is public perception. Many Nigerians are asking why some people are quickly punished for certain statements, while others seem protected because of their status or influence. This has reopened old conversations about fairness, justice, and equality before the law. People want to know if Nigeria truly treats everyone the same. Some citizens believe that if the government decides to act against Sheikh Ahmad Gumi, it will prove that no one is above the law. Others fear that such action could create unrest or be interpreted as an attack on religion. That is why the authorities are likely to be very careful in their next steps. As debates continue, social media is playing a big role. Different clips, quotes, and opinions are being shared widely. Some people are defending Sheikh Ahmad Gumi strongly. Others are attacking him harshly. In the middle of all this, ordinary Nigerians are trying to understand the truth. Please don't forget to like and subscribe because this story is still developing and new details can emerge at any time. There is also the emotional side of this issue. Families who have lost loved ones to violence feel angry when they hear statements that seem to show sympathy for armed groups. For them, this is not just a debate, it is personal pain. On the other hand, people who believe in dialogue feel that refusing to talk to armed groups may prolong suffering. This emotional conflict is why the issue is so sensitive. Looking at the bigger picture, this situation shows how difficult it is to balance security and freedom of speech in a fragile environment. Nigeria is trying to fight insecurity while still maintaining democratic values. When these two goals clash, controversies like this one appear. As Nigerians watch closely, many experts believe that whatever decision is made will set a precedent. If action is taken, it will send a message about how the government views public statements related to security. If no action is taken, it will also send a message, whether positive or negative. Please like this video and subscribe because your support helps us bring you deep and clear analysis of major national stories. Another question people are asking is whether this situation could change how religious leaders speak in public. If a prominent cleric is investigated or questioned, others may become more careful with their words. This could reduce harmful statements, but it could also reduce honest discussions about national problems. Again, this shows how complex the matter is. At the same time, many Nigerians are urging the government to focus not only on words, but on real solutions to insecurity. They believe arrests alone cannot solve the problem. They want stronger security systems, better intelligence, economic opportunities, and unity among citizens. As the debate continues, one thing remains certain: Nigeria is at a crossroads. The country must decide how to handle influential voices, how to fight insecurity, and how to maintain unity in a time of deep tension. Please like this video and subscribe if you want to stay informed about this story and many others like it.